So this morning, I want to talk to you about our health and happiness and maybe some of the things that you haven't thought about that contribute to your health and happiness. Yeah, going at this from a slightly different perspective this morning. There's some things I want you to evaluate and look at in your life. So we've gone over this before. Our healing starts when we can acknowledge the problem, that we have a problem. So if we don't think we have a problem, then it's hard, it's very, very hard to acknowledge something that you're not aware of. So that is that self-awareness, not grabbing hold of your treadmill and running all day long, acknowledging things as you go through your day, which of course we've spoken about lots. But you do go through your day and what you're feeling, you think, well, this is how I normally am. This is my normal. Well, yes, it's absolutely well and truly probably your normal. However, here's the thing. Your normal may now be to the point where it's damaging your health. Yeah? Because if your body is clicked into a space that it can't get out of, well, you're going to feel that that's your normal until you start to recognize and acknowledge how you're feeling during the day. So I really wanted to get that point across, and I've mentioned it in some way, shape or form over the weeks, but it really is important that you do acknowledge so you can free yourself of some of the chains that you have put upon yourself. Righty ho, my notes are behind me this morning, so excuse me for looking past, but I want to try and keep on track this morning. So running on autopilot is not something that we want to do. We want to take ourselves out of that, and this is the only way you're going to start to acknowledge stuff, is take yourself off of your autopilot and start to think all day long about what you're feeling, yeah? Some of these things are coming from your own limited beliefs that you may have put on yourself, or maybe others have put on you in the past. Maybe people have put limitations on you, and that has created a limited belief within yourselves, yeah? So here's the thing. Our nervous system has its own set of priorities to keep you safe. It has its own set of priorities, unconscious priorities, which it's going to run on no matter what you do, because it wants to keep you safe. So if these don't align, we start to get conflict within the body. The body's going, hang on, you're not understanding here, you're not listening to me. Yeah, this is what the body's doing. So it keeps pushing you with little bits and pieces here and there, and you might be ignoring them as you're going through your day. You're just flying through them, pushing them to the side. Are we doing that? Because here's the thing. If you're doing that, your nervous system will start to complain, and that's when we manifest bits and pieces. Could be new bits of pain, could be joint pain, could be an old injury flaring up. That's a really high percentage of the reason that your old injuries or that site of pain, previous pain, will come back to you, is because your body tends to always put these things in places of weakness, or where it knows you have felt that in the past. What are you feeling? Not what are you thinking, what are you feeling? Yeah, I need to get you to differentiate between the two. Remember, sometimes what you're thinking and what you're feeling isn't aligned. Okay, think about that one. Okay. So, if we are in fight and flight, and remember, if you're in what's your normal, you may be in fight and oh God, it's hard to say first thing in the morning. Fight and flight or freeze. if you are in one of those states and you don't know it because it's your normal, what happens is the intellectual function of your brain just doesn't work very well. So it then becomes hard to think clearly, especially when you're trying to solve problems. So when you're in fight and fright, yeah, have a good old giggle at me. Good morning, Grace. Grace is the only one I know that's there. Oh, I think I can see Erica there by the little picture, but you haven't said hello, by the way. Anywho, I digress. So it shuts down your intellectual function when we are in fight, fright, freeze. There you go, said it, and fast. So if we're really struggling to think, maybe that's a time to step back, yeah, and go, really having trouble thinking about this. Is there something else in the background worrying me, and am I inadvertently, unbeknownst to me, in fight and fright, yeah? Next week I'm going to go into that in a little more depth so that you can maybe identify better whether you are or you are not in that situation. Okay, so because when we're in that spot, it's really hard to make good choices. Yeah, it's really hard to make good decisions, and sometimes those decisions you may feel you've made the wrong one. By the way, you've never made the wrong decision. You just have to make sure that the decision you make right, if that makes sense. I think it does. Okay, so can you see how we end up in this endless loop? Yeah, you end up in this endless loop, especially when you don't know you're there. We're going to have to identify that. So this is something that really affects your health and your happiness, again, without you realizing it, unless you've thought about this.